these words to them singing with the guy. You know, with all these words I'm writing here.
Well, alrighty then.
So, and I don't want it to be.
Mike Bearlack and Father to entertain you with the help of the Righteous Brothers. If you believe in forever, then this life is just a one-night stand. I just learned that song. I like that line, though.
That's
going to be one of the featured songs on your movie, huh?
Heavenly Skies.
Yeah, that's your script in there. But, I wanted to ask you something. You stated that the writer's strike, which is now over, apparently, whoop-de-doo. It's not like anybody it's not like people are interested in anything out of Hollywood and Disney these days. But anyways, you said that the writer's strike was because the devil was trying to destroy you, right? That's what you said, and now you're just denying it because we're on camera. But then, which I guess I can understand to a degree because you're writing a script there, you're trying to get to sell, and personally, I think you should go to Angel Productions, or the same people that made that movie that is beating all the other movies, despite being a private movie company. But he also said that the auto strike was because the devil was out to get you. And now, what is it now? The government shutdown on Monday. That's going to be because the government's out to get you, right? Say that again? Anything to do with what?
LOVE, they're out to get me.
Okay, you heard them. But the auto strike, how is that? Okay, obviously you believe that's affecting you negatively. How is the auto strike affecting you negatively? That's all I'm asking. Just explain that.
Because I have to sell the car, to pay off the lawyer, the motel, the airfare.
Oh, just selling the car is how you're going to get the money.
Yeah,
to do all this stuff to sell this script. Okay,
and then I
all
have
right.
to get another
We got our answer.
later, which means I have to pay more than the car because they're short on parts for the new cars, and then now the car company is going to have to pay more money to the employees, which means another added price to the newer cars.
Oh,
which means I'll have to buy a car a couple years old, which I don't care because that's what I do anyway, So anyway,
that's pretty much what everybody has to do.
A few dollars more for the user car, see, and then the user cars will go up. You see?
Well, you do realize that just because the strike is over, whoop-de-doo, Hollywood is like a past conglomerate industry. Like ancient Rome. You know how Rome fell eventually? It'll still always have some little bit of influence, but their overall power will fall.
If you want to lose your money, go to America. You'll be broke in 2 days.
Well, yeah, you're right, and that's why we are living in a historical event right now. You know what's happening? When you and I are long dead, you know what they're going to be saying about this era we're living in right now? It's going to be the fall of globalism. That's what we're living through right now. The fall of globalism. So anyways, that's why...
And then these people put these things on their doors. That's what really kills me. I'm proud to be an American. I love being... How can you love somebody that don't love you? I mean, that's like shitting on a sidewalk and saying, I'm going to pick it up and eat it. What is this,
What is this? You voted for it. You voted for Joe Biden. You think Joe Biden cares about you? Nope, he's too busy caring about Ukraine and China.
Oh my God! What?
Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention to you.
I don't get it.
Remember the time that I gave the neurologist permission to save your life, to drill the hole and get the blood clog out of your brain? Remember that? Well, I'm not going to name names, but I talked to some people, and you know what they said? They told me straight out that if that happens again, I should just let you die.
Who said that?
I ain't gonna name names on camera. I'll let you know later. But you'll be happy to know I won't do that. I don't take the power over life and death lightly. To this day, it still bothers me that I had to put my first cat to sleep. I try to remember that. I didn't want her. I was working all the time, and I didn't want her. I was so afraid she was going to die. I was going to come home and she would have died alone, and that's why I did it. I am happy that my second cat did die at home, and then I just had to take his corpse, to the vet to be cremated and paid for the urn and all that. But rest assured, if something like that ever comes up again, I will always say yes to the neurologist or whatever. Do the operation. If it saves your life, yay God. If it doesn't, yay God anyways. Que sera, sera. Oh yeah. We got to say. See, this is why we couldn't do a video last week, because he was in jail for a couple of days. Remember that? Yeah, I was at work at my second job, and they called, and one of his friends from the building, I guess, called me at work, and your father's in jail. Somebody's going to do something about this dog.
Elmhurst.
I'm like, lady, I'm at work. He's like, well, when you get out of work at 10:30, can you come over? And, lady, I got to go home and go to sleep then.
Judy from Elmhurst called you.
Yeah, well, whatever. I know you give people my freaking numbers. It doesn't surprise me. Anyways, then the next day, the cops called me, and as soon as I picked up the phone, I'm like, oh, dear God, don't let me regret this. The officer was like, it's not bad news, sir.
What? It's not bad news?
It's not bad news. We just want to know if anybody's been around to take care of the dog. And I said, nope, not to my knowledge. I got my own affairs to take care of. So what happened now? The guy who slashed your tires, he said he's the primary reason why you went to jail, right? What did he do? What happened?
I told you.
Tell me again. It's entertaining. I want to hear the story again.
It's not entertaining.
Well, it's interesting anyway. So what happened?
Well, I feel like having another heart attack, so it's not entertaining.
Oh, okay. Now I remember that. So you were parked in a space you were only allowed to park for 20 minutes. You were there for an additional 10. So the guy who slashed your tires last year you called the cops on you, right? Okay, because you had to relax. You had to sit down for 10 minutes because your heart was beating real fast.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Because I didn't take my meds.
Okay. Well, now we got the full story.
I was a half hour late for the food pantry. They had no food in the house.
So
was
that must have been a legitimate argument if you were only in jail for a couple days, huh? So they must have said, okay, we're gonna let you go now.
It was a PO hold.
What do they call it? PO?
Probation.
Probation hold. Okay. Well, I don't live a life of crime, so I don't know. I'm not familiar with these terms.
Yeah, but he did that out of like a little fear. He did it out of jealousy.
Oh yeah, you said he was jealous. Refresh my memory. What was he jealous of you about? Because your friends from Illinois know you.
Yeah,
okay.
not from Illinois. He lives out here as a Mexican.
But this guy was jealous because you're saying this guy was jealous because it turns out you were right and these people do know you. Okay.
He's an idiot. Why would I lie about something like that? That is a stupid,
Well, there is one exception to that whole life. I'm not comfortable with the idea of assuming responsibility over life and death. The only exception to that rule would be, self-defense. If it's either me or the other person, well, I guess I'm gonna have to take a life. Now, what were you gonna say?
That whole thing. Who's going to see this now?
Oh, the whole world. Oh, yeah, by the way, we got to explain what Annie's not here. I assume that a shelter took her. But you said some ladies in your building are watching her?
Yeah.
And you don't like that because they're very affectionate towards Annie and you're like, you have a problem with that or something? That's what you said earlier.
The alarm clock I have at home don't work. So usually I'm good at getting up early. So I got up late Friday and then I went to the food pantry. So I didn't take Annie out to go potty. I didn't take my pills. Now I ran to the food pantry. And then I had to go to the bank and take a few dollars out, which is all I had. And I had to go to Dollar Tree to get Annie her dog food. And then I went home. And then they were out by the gazebo. And it's across the driveway because a few years ago they wanted people further from the building, with the cigarettes. So they built that gazebo. Before we just walked out of the building and sat in our chairs, So anyway, he pulled in the FedEx guy, and he's a friend of mine, and his cousin lived in my neighborhood. And his other kid's cousin lived in the next neighborhood. And his other kid's cousin lived in the next neighborhood. And his other kid's cousin lived in the other neighborhood. It's 3 neighborhoods.
Okay, get on with it.
All right. So he sees me taking the groceries out and put it in the cart, right, to bring in the house. So he goes, "Hey, Pablo, man!" Pablo's Paul in Spanish. And we gave the knuckle high five, and he goes, "Didn't see you last week." And I go, "I was probably sleeping, bro." And he said, "Oh, man." He goes, "So what's happening?" I go, "Nothing much. I just gotten back from the food pantry." And he goes, "Oh, man." And that Joe that cut my tire with a butcher knife last week that
that was last year.
Camera, said that they had him on camera, so he had to buy me a $300 tire.
I thought you said that was last week. I thought that was last year.
Month.
I think that was like a year ago.
No, it was last month. So anyway, they had him on camera, and he threatened me that he was going to do that, but he was from Chicago, 3 towns from ours. Remember North Lake and then Melrose and Elmwood Park?
Now, what nationality lives there?
Italians. So anyway, so Joe says, I go, yeah, you're going to do that. Yeah, I didn't figure in a million years he would do that, but he did. So anyway, and they had him on camera. So anyway, he had to buy me a new tire. So anyway, so he never believes me when I tell him 3 million people in Chicago love me. And there's 3 million people in Chicago. So he goes, "Oh yeah, right." He thinks I'm bullcrapping him, right? And I'm not, man. I tell him, why would I lie about something like that? What idiot's gonna lie about something like that? I told him everybody in Chicago loves me.
3 million
people. The gangbangers love me. The cops love me, the judges love me, the people love me. There ain't nobody that don't love me.
3 million people. I gotta tell you, I'm impressed. 3 million people love you. I only have 7,777 CDs. More people love you than I have CDs.
Right. You got it, bro. So anyway, so what? He don't believe me. So the Mexican, my Mexican buddy says like, "Hey man," he goes, "You like him?" And Joe tells out, "You like him?" And he goes, "Yeah, he's my soul brother." He goes, "My cousin likes him in his hometown." He goes, "In Chicago." He goes, "And my other cousin loves him in the next town, and my other cousin loves him in the next town, and my other cousin loves him in the next town." And he
Yeah,
goes,
3 million is a lot of
he goes,
people.
shit, the whole Chicago loves him. And I started laughing and I'm puffing my mouth. And he's going.
So long story short, this is why this guy was jealous of you, because it turns out you were right.
I proved
All
him
these
wrong,
people love you.
that I was right.
Right.
So he goes.
Out of that jealousy, he called the police on you while you were 10 minutes
and
late.
because he had to buy me the new. And then they walked over there and sat on the chairs where my car was parked, because they only allow you 20 minutes to unload your food in your house. And I went in the house and put everything away, and then I felt dizzy because I didn't take my pills, because I was on blood thinner because I'm getting new teeth, and they took away my blood thinner pills because they consider that an operation. You know, when they pull all your teeth out.
Okay.
So you can get a heart attack, you know. So they took me off some of my medication, so I felt a heart attack going on. So I told the dog, Annie, I said, you got to sit with me on the couch, you know, because I took a cold bottle of water out of the fridge and turned the air on, and I needed to chill, you know, to relax 10 minutes.
And do what you got to do.
So I do what I had to do.
So while you were doing all
I
this,
went
this guy out of
outside.
jealousy called the cops on you. Okay.
Yeah, and I went outside.
Because he ticked
goes,
off because he
"I
had to
called the
because he got a
cops
court
on you."
order last year or last month, whatever it was, to buy you a new tire when he slashed your tire. Okay.
And then I said, Joe, you know I got a heart condition. I felt a heart attack going on, and I had to sit down for 10 minutes. And I go, you know that, so why did you call the cops? And then I said, I'm moving the car now. So I put Annie in the car, and I moved the car, and I was gonna just go right away, you know, but he said he called the cops. So I went to park my car with the dog in the car, and the cops show up.
Putting Annie in the car, didn't that take an additional 10 minutes?
No. And then
I'm
they
just
took me
speaking
to
from
jail.
experience.
Then they took me to
When I
jail
see how you
because
do things.
He said some words to me, and I said some words back to him. But they weren't nice words, believe me. Because I got aggravated with the guy. Because he did it like a little kid, you know?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like a little kid.
All right, well, I don't want this video to be 20 minutes, so I think...
Now you know the crap I go through.
Yep. It's like you said, the devil's out to get you, man.
No, these people are wacko. I'm telling you.
Well, but you live there too, don't you?
I'm not a wacko. I don't like little children here, like Republican and Democrats. I want this, Bill. I want this. We should go back to King and Queens. These are King of New York and King of California and King of Chicago. That's what it should be out here.
So basically your
bullshit.
philosophy
This
is
is
the
like
world needs to go
totally
back to monarchy, right?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
I
This
rest
is
my case.
crazy.
Well, it already is that. It's called a political elitist, and it doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. They see themselves as kings,
People
and they
are
see us
much
as
more
peasants.
Better,
Peasants to give them our vote every 2 and 4 years, and then shut the flunk up. All right, that's enough. Mike Brilak and Father, thank you for your time.